Hi there guys, this is Farmer Bob. Welcome back to my channel guys. Great to be back on another map conversion video. We are busy with the map Durango, if you have been following the previous two episodes. And yeah, it's been great fun so far. We've been up and down with the ground textures. This map, however, I must say the ground textures are a bit confusing, especially if you have to dive into someone else's work. I'm sure for the guy who created the map, it was easy and simple because he was doing it methodically, you know, and just adding as he went along. But for us, if you have to dive into someone else's stuff, hey, it doesn't make sense, you know. So, but anyways, if this is the first time that you have joined our channel, a warm welcome to you. Sit back and relax with us, and we're going to continue with our work here on the Durango map this morning, and have a look at that. It's coming together slowly but surely. The textures are falling in place. You can clearly see that we've got a few ground textures that's not in the right spot. I've identified two that I want to work on in this video, and I think the two that we're going to do will be more than enough for you to carry on your own map and convert your own stuff, you know. So I'm not going to sit through all the other ground textures if there is any other ones that's not in place. By the looks of it, I can identify two easily. Like you can see that green and this green are the same, and this green is one texture, you know. And then there's some type of a mud or something in there, but we'll have a look at that just now. So all we're going to do, we are on the original, or not on the original, the new map, the FS22 one. As you can see, FS22 mods, there it is. So I'm going to just select my texture here and identify this color or this ground texture by control R-ing on it. So you select the detail texture paint mode, and then just put your ring on the texture you want and press Control and R, and here at the texture layer painting it will show you it's grass dry patchy is the one that we want. And that is the one that's basically all over the map. And then this one will be, if I go to that one, Control R. What happened now? Did I deselect my map? Control R. There we go. It's just grass dry. So we're looking at grass. I'm just writing it down here on the side. Grass dry patchy and grass dry. So that's the two textures that we want to just connect correctly. And obviously the weights are there. As you can see, they're in the right spot, but the texture is just wrong. So all we need to do is reroute the texture to the correct texture, or the line in the i3D to the texture, to the correct texture, and then it will display correctly. So great. So let's do that too. I'm going to close the map for now. And remember, we're in this circle. So we're going to go now to the actual map. I've got it open here as well. And then just go to that circle that we've seen, and there is the circle. So here you can clearly see what it should look like. And don't worry about the fields, guys. We haven't done anything with it. We're just busy with the terrain textures. These are not terrain textures. The fields are not part of terrain textures. So all the fields you see is different from terrain textures. So all the stuff that's in between is terrain textures. So we'll get to the fields, you know. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do the same thing here. This is where converting the map with the Giants Editor Converter gives you a bit of an edge, because if you went into the FS19 one directly into the original map, you will not be able to do the Control R, because Editor 8.2 did not have the function yet. Only in Editor 9 that the function for Control R came in to identify the textures. So you in Editor 8.2, you'll have to keep on painting the textures here to see which one it is, you know, until you find the one that looks the same. where yeah, in FS22 or in the converted FS22, it's simple. We can just press Control R on that, and we'll see the original name of the original texture that we're looking for is grass dirt. All right. So this one is this is the big one that's all over the map, and then the other one was Control R, that one there, which is grass rough. Okay, so it is grass rough and grass dirt. So I'm just going to call this one the small one. I'm just writing down on the side here so I don't forget. And this one is the one that's all over the map. All right, so now that we know which textures we need, we can now go and identify in the Durango R3D of FS19 in the R3D. So we edit it with Notepad++, and then we're going to find grass rough. So if you go to foliage multi-lay, for instance, go to the multi-lay, you'll see that it was grass rough. It was called, so it's grass rough. There it is. So there's your 4 textures, and they are combining into grass rough as a combined layer. So in our map, in our original map, we have converted the weight file for grass rough obviously into something else. So we're going to have a look at that now. So let's first do the grass rough, and here we can see the weight file for that is weight map ID 40. All right, weight map ID 40. I just want to see, we have to look at the detail map is 41, which is the diffuse. So we're going to look at file ID 40, and I think I've already searched for it just in preparation for the video a bit. So we go to the top, find it, and you'll see it is rough grass 01. Okay, so rough grass 01, I know that we've converted that in our new map into something else. So we're going to go into our data folder, just see if we have rough grass in here. I doubt if we have it. I think we did it. We converted that to grass dry patchy and grass dry, if I remember correctly. So I'm thinking, yeah, let's go into, I've actually now made a mess. I've closed it already. Let's go into our map and just have a look what we have converted it into. I think that will be the easiest to do, you know. So just open it back up. Come. We are waiting for you. Oh, word. There we go. All right, so let's just find our circle. So we're at the right thing. So that one is definitely Control R. It's definitely grass dry patchy. So the big one is grass dirt, which we've converted to grass dry patchy, and obviously the other one is that one there, which is grass dry. So grass dry is grass rough, and grass dirt is grass dry patchy. Alright, so we just have to swing that 2 around so that they point to the correct textures. But now obviously we want to go into our actual map, Durango, and just see. I don't have any of that too. I don't have grass rough and I don't have grass dirt. You see, so there's no texture for that. So what's happened once again is the guy has renamed it into another texture for the actual texture, and then in the R3D it's just diverted into another name, you know. So the same that we've done now, he's done on his side. So we have to just undo the mess and get back to the real thing, you know. So let's just open this up, 904. I just want to have a look. Sorry man, I should have now not opened it in the editor. I should have opened it in the text editor, which is in here. So we're looking at ID 40, which is rough grass weight, and then we're looking at 41 for the, this is grass rough, so we're going to go 41, which is grass dirt DE01. So there's your eight textures for grass rough, which is grass dirt DE01. So we now have to find grass dirt DE01 in this map, grass dirt DE01. So let's have a look at, and I think if I'm correct, grass dirt DE01 might be, oh, it's a data map, so that's a direct texture, which I can't really believe. This is a direct texture from FS19, so but I should have that then. Let me just have a check if I do have that. Have I converted that before? Because what I do is when I convert something, I always make it, put it in my folder for converted textures. It is under map terrain stuff. There it is, and then textures converted. So grass rough DE. Grass. Here's grass. Grass town. Grass US. I don't have a grass rough DE. You see, so it's a texture that I've never really worked with before. But now I can't believe that this texture is the right thing. Where is that little round thing? So let's have a look. Oh, there it is. Is it a greenish texture? It is. There it is. You can see it as clear as day. It's not brown, it's not red. So that's a texture that somehow I think he uses in places like this. You know, look at that. I suppose that will be the same texture if we have a browse at this. Grass rough, yeah. You see, so it is some greenery, maybe in town areas and that, where he has used that texture. And the main texture is this one, which is grass dirt. Okay, so let us look at... so we can now know we have to convert that one directly from FS19 itself. And I can actually go there quickly. Farming Simulator 19, 2019. No, this is it here. So it's data. Is it maps textures, I think? Yeah, terrain. And then grass rough. So we can go to grass rough DE, was it? Grass rough SA. There's a grass dirt DE. I think it's that one. Grass dirt. It wasn't grass rough. It was grass dirt DE. I have to verify that now. It's grass dirt DE. I've been confused there with the name. Anyways, so there it is. Grass dirt DE. So we have to take all 8 of them. Grass dirt DE04. 8 items selected. Control C. Copy that. Drop it into our desktop folder, the temp folder. So let me just check here. Rough dirt. I think we've done with all of those. Just paste them in here, so let's not get confused. And then the same drill with this 8 of them. We have to obviously just convert them into PNGs, and then just drop them back into its original spot, you know, and then reroute the i3D to find this one instead of our grass dry patchy or whatever one was there. It's grass rough, so it's grass dry that we want to reroute to this texture. Okay, so first things first, let's open it up. So obviously it's the same drill as last. First, the image needs to be enlarged to resize up to 1024. And then enter, and then we're going to go file, save as. I wonder if this wasn't converted already, now that I think of it. 1024 is the size. Let's just have a browse if the if our friends at Desktop Durango, this is the FS22 converted map, if they didn't do it for us. Textures, terrain, dirt, grass, it's not there. But mind you, I just want to see. Yeah, you see, they didn't even make the size bigger. It's supposed to be 1024 for FS22. So the moment you want to add an FS22 texture to your map, if you want to keep on editing your map in future, you will not be able to. You'll have to only use FS19 terrain textures, which is a pain, because now you have to sort of demote the FS22 textures, scale them down to 512 and all that stuff, you know. So it's a pain in the tooth, I can say. I want to use a different word, but yeah. Anyway, okay, so let's just get done with it. Let's go in there, and then we just go file, PNG, like so. Good stuff. 32-bit, and that one is done. All right, and obviously now we want to go to the DDS and delete that one, and then we go to the normal. Now the normal, you know, as previously, we want to go 1024, resize it, and then adjust the curves on the RGBs, take off the red and the green, and just drop the blue up there in 50%, roughly 50%, and then file, save as PNG, like so. Save. Okay, and then do that with all of the rest of them. Delete the original. Good. Alright guys, I've just made myself some nice coffee, so sit back and relax. I've converted all 8 ground textures, as you can see. They are here in our terrain textures folder, and now we just need to route these ones. The dirt DEs, they go over to grass dry. That is the one. Am I correct now? Grass rough goes to grass dry. Okay, I must just check. That's the small one. Yes, that is the right one. So it goes to grass dry. Okay, so we must just figure out which one was grass dry. You know, I thought I wrote it down. It's grass dry, yes. Grass rough goes to grass dry. So this one goes to grass dry in our map folder, or in our map i3D. Alright, so that is the FS19 map, and this one is the FS22 one. So not grass dry patchy, but grass dry, this one. Okay, so we're going to find grass dry now. Grass dry, and just go up here. I can't really see it that quick, but let's find it. Control F. Grass dry. There's the weight for it, grass dry. And there's patchy, grass dry. So this is the lines, the 8 lines we need to just reroute to our textures. So there you go, like so. So there's one. Right, so what we're going to do then is dirt grass mix 1, dirt grass mix 2, 3 and 4. The 4 normals, we're going to copy that. Could have just grabbed them from the directly from the FS19 directory, but it doesn't really matter. Into our temp folder first, paste them in there. There we go. That's our 4 normals, and now we need the actual diffusers, which was if I find this one, it is dirt grass mix in textures terrain. So it's dirt grass mix 1 to 4. Right, so in here, into here, ground, no, not ground, sorry, it is dirt grass mix. There's the 4 diffusers. You see how confusing stuff get, you know. It can easily wear you out if you not hold your head, you know. Good. Great. So we've got dirt grass mix. So obviously the guy left the normals and he just went and modified the actual diffusers a bit into a different color, you know. So just edited the color a bit to give it that reddish whatever color that he's working with. Good. So now what I'm going to do is the process that you've seen 300 times already. So I'm going to hit pause, and then once I've converted all of them, we'll carry on with the recording. Right guys, so there we are. There's all 8 of them, the normals and diffusers done. So all we need to do now obviously is find our diffusers and normals in the i3D and just rename them again. And we were looking now for grass dry patchy, grass dry patchy, like so. Grass dry patchy. I'm in the wrong map. It will help if I find the right one, eh? Okay, there they are. So these are our 8 files. So our normals, our diffusers is where we want to start. Just make sure I get the right one. Control C, get the names right. So that's our first one. Control V. Did grass mix diffuse. That's 01. Control V, just overwrite that, diffuse. So that becomes 02. And make sure I don't overwrite the wrong thing again. Give us a heart attack, you know. And the last diffuse will be there. Paste it over like so. So there's our 4 diffusers then. And now back to our normals. Did grass mix 01. Control C, copy that. And just all the normals. That's the first normal. Whoop. The second normal, Control V, becomes 02. Third normal, 03. Lastly, 04. There you go. So these are 4 normals and 4 diffusers all done. And now obviously we just need to get the right spot for it. They're not going to find those there. Oops, and don't copy that in. Guys, I can't say this more than enough. Do not make any mistakes in here. Like you saw earlier, just one little font or one little thing, a space or a little punctuation mark that is in the wrong spot and you have a problem. Alright, so there we go. All done and dusted. So now when we open our map now, it's gonna probably hopefully be right. So let's just have a look. I've saved the i3D. Let us see. It's gonna be interesting. Let's hope for the best. Hope for the best. We should have a different ground texture now on the ground. So the map should look a bit different now. There might be 1 or 2 still lurking about, as I said. Look at that. Huge difference already. That's what it should look like. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I think, if I'm correct, what is this texture here? I don't know, don't think that is correct, but let's have a look what this is. Control R. This is normal grass. So what I'm going to do now, guys, as I said, now it's the same drill over and over until we've done the whole map. So I'm going to have a look now at grass and see if that's the same as in the original map. We know now this is correct. You can immediately see this is the dry grass stuff. So this is definitely correct. It's grass dry, yes. So now I'm going to just carry on and work through all of the rest to get to all the textures all done. Great, so I'm not going to bore you with that. And I think we'll take it from there and see how far we can get. Alright, well guys, believe it or not, that was the extent of the texture work. So all the ground texture seems to be fine. So we can now solely carry on with the rest of the work. So that brings us to the end of the textures, and I think there's enough in this, what I've spent with you in the texture side, for you to do the same on your side if you do a map conversion. So I don't think there's anything that we haven't touched on, you know. So I'm sure you'll be more than supplied with enough information, you know. Great. So thank you so much for watching, guys. So this is the end of episode 3 then. We will carry on now with the exciting stuff. This is sort of the boring over and over work. Well, I won't say over and over, because what's the whole map making business is over and over, you know. So in episode 4 we're going to start bringing over the actual objects and placeables and all that kind of stuff, you know. So, well, not in one episode, obviously. We'll do them one at a time and see how long they take. Great, man, but thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. I do really appreciate when you subscribe, because it's always nice seeing new faces, obviously. My channel grows that way. And then also lastly, a big thank you to my Patreon supporters. If you're not on my Patreon yet and you do enjoy my content, and my content helps you a lot, do think of helping me a bit and support me on Patreon. I would really appreciate that. Even the slightest Patreon support is always a good help and a big pleasure. I really appreciate that. Guys, have a wonderful day, and you have an awesome, fantastic week and weekend, and take care. I'll check you on the next one. Cheers.